What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So, your boy, Dillian Whyte, has come through and made some comments on his upcoming fight this weekend with Alexander Povetkin. He said the following: "This time, I'm much more together. I know deep down I can smooth Povetkin out anyway. I know 100% the best of me. In fact, even the worst of me, I know that for a fact. I carry power in both hands. But Povetkin is a very cagey guy, very experienced, a very patient guy, a very tough guy. The last time, I didn't land properly, and he went down. He showed resilience and got up and stopped me. So this time, I need to make sure when I hit him, he stays down. I made a mistake, and straight away I knew the mistake I made. It didn't take me a long time to realise the mistake I made. Then it was, okay, it's heavyweight boxing. I wanted to get straight back in there and just get it over with and done straight away. My mindset is that I'll do whatever I need to. I'm not worried about my career best performance. I'm worried about getting the win. I've still got loads of fights in my career. I'm ready to go. When I touch him this time, his whole body is going to vibrate. I'm coming to do what I do best, and that's inflict pain. If I'm going to make it a dogfight, I'm going to make it a dogfight. Last time I was boxing and fighting a bit. This time it's going to be a different story. Real different this time," said White. So you heard that fighting talk there. Now, the first thing I want to pick up on, he said, even on my worst day, even the worst of me will beat Povetkin. Now, I don't want to be a nitpicker here, but listen, if the worst of you could beat someone, you wouldn't have been laid flat, innit, the first time. And genuinely speaking, I understand these fighters, they have to have a level of bravado, a level of confidence, otherwise you wouldn't get in there, would you, in front of everyone. But still, we have to call a spade a spade. The best of you, the worst of you got laid flat. And to be honest, and this is why I've been on the fence for the longest time, it wasn't even the worst of Dillian. It's not like he was having a bad night and he got, for example, AJ versus Ruiz won. That was just bad night. None of it was good. From the start to the finish, it was all awful. That's a bad night. Dillian was on top, dominating. Knocked Povetkin down. Povetkin looked old, slow, the whole works. I remember at the time watching it and falling asleep because I just thought, this is standard procedure. This is parliamentary procedure. Yeah? And then, next thing I know, I see Dillian's legs go limp. But it wasn't even just limp, it was limp and stiff at the same time. It was a weird limp stiff thing going on. Dillian had this whole limp and stiff business going on. And then he flopped. And I thought, what? I thought, no way, surely he's going to get up. Well, I'll tell you a lie. I knew he weren't getting up. He was too stiff. He was gone. His consciousness had left his body, 100%. But anyway, let's not get caught up in the details of Dillian's lack of consciousness on that night. The point is, the main reason I've been worried for Dillian is simply the fact that it was one of your best nights. And still, somehow, you went from a best night to flat out in a space of a few seconds. Which means that no, I don't believe there's a level of control here from Dillian's point of view. He's got to basically hope that one shot don't land again. Now, to be fair, how many times have we seen it before? Someone gets a good shot off. Look at Lennox Lewis's career. Someone gets a good shot off and it lands and it goes pear-shaped for them. And the next time, the person can't land a glove. So I'm not going to make out that these shots are often or frequent at all. But still, Dillian ain't no Lennox Lewis. You know, if that makes sense. He doesn't have that. Well, I tell you, he's not. I'm not saying he's a bum, of course. I think he's top 5. I'm just worried about Dillian's chin and the sustainability. Clearly, on that night, his chin was a big flaw. And I'm not sure. Obviously, we can't test it, but I don't know. given how worn out Povetkin was at the time he threw that shot, do you know what I'm saying? Normally, yeah, when fighters are on their last legs, how many times has a fighter been on their last legs and then found a shot out of nowhere? I mean, it's clear, yeah, it has happened before. I can't quote an example, but I'm sure it's happened before. But talking scientifically, from a scientific point of view, fighters who are finished, who have been put down and they're knackered, their power's going to be lower. Their reactions are going to be lower. So it should be, if you're getting knocked out by someone who's knackered and tired and whatnot, then that's a big problem, in my opinion. Because it means that your chin wasn't able to take a shot from someone who was half weakened already. So what happens now that Povetkin's been away, he's been training hard, locked away somewhere, I just think the odds, it's a difficult one. And we know Povetkin ain't no scrub either, by the way. He's not like someone who, I'm not sure about comparing him to Hassim Rahman, but still, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Especially when you think about Dillian versus Joseph Parker as well. I'm not saying Dillian's going to run out of gas again, but in my opinion, it's just a few niggling questions, and I can see it going the other way. I can see Dillian going in there and just schooling him, as in not engaging, not getting stuck in, keeping it long, and that I think that's the best option here. But my problem is again, the fact we're getting mixed messages. 1 minute Dillian's saying, oh, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to march all over him. The next minute is saying, oh, I'm not going to go in there, I'm going to box and whatnot. If he goes in there and he looks to just go mad, I'm just not sure. I understand the logic. From his point of view, he's thinking, well, every time I touched Povetkin, it hurt him. Which is true. This time I'm going to touch him a little bit more. But I'm not sure it works like that. Sometimes when you go in there and you're chasing the KO and you're doing this mental maths, well, I hit him this hard last time. If I hit him a little bit harder, or if I it's not, you can't really control how hard you hit someone. If that makes sense. When you go in there and you start putting more effort in, if you've done the mental maths before and you've said, well, I hit him this hard last time, I'm going to put a bit more effort in this time and try a bit harder and get him out of there earlier. It don't often work like that. The best shots, look at Okolie versus Glowowski. The best shots are the ones that just flow. Okolie hadn't been, in the build-up to the Glowowski fight, he hadn't been sitting there saying, oh, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to, all that. When you think about aggression, look at Jose Aldo as well. Jose Aldo, when he fought McGregor, he was all about, I'm going to go in there and just get my hands on him. It seldomly works. It makes you stiff. It makes you anxious. Not that I'm seeing, in all fairness to Dillian, I'm not seeing him being anxious or and whatnot. But still, these things could easily, that's another fair point, these could easily just be bravado. Dillian's just talking it up. And he could go in there, and I think the best bet for Dillian's, and he has hinted at it, even in these quotes I read out, Dillian said, I'm going to go in there and just win. I'm not bothered about how I win. But then he also went on to contradict himself and said, oh, I'm going to do loads of damage. So I'm not sure what he's trying to say. 1 minute he's saying, I'm just going to do enough to win. I'm not bothered about the performance. I've got loads of fights where I can prove myself in terms of great performances. I'm not looking for a best performance. And then he's saying, well, I'm going to go in there and next time, the first time I hit him, I didn't hit him hard, and now I'm going to hit him hard. So it could just be, if I was to bet, he's probably all talk. However, his trainer even said, we're going to try and mimic Wilder versus Fury too. We're going to try and mimic Fury's performance, so I'm not sure what to say. I think that's the worst idea, though, going in there for a tear-up. I think the best idea will just be to, because if you watch the first fight, Dillian, yes, he hurt Povetkin, but he hurt him without trying. He was just building and starting and setting pace and working. That's probably the best way of doing things. Give him respect and just go in there and don't chase anything. Don't worry about, I want to hurt him more this time. Yes, when you throw your shots, have bad intentions on them at times, but the whole idea of Dillian Whyte isn't AJ. That's another key thing here. There's two different, I'd love for, if this was AJ in there, it's a completely different story. He's got the genetics behind it. He's got the chin. He can take a shot. I'm not sure Dillian can. I hate to say it. It's just the facts. Based on what we've seen, Can you bank on Dillian Whyte's chin? It makes me laugh. People talk about how chinny AJ is. I've never seen AJ just flatlined by anyone. We hear from everyone, all the YouTubers, everyone says, all the Sky people, AJ's a bit chinny, you know. And then Dillian, who's flat out every time, more or less, anytime he gets touched, he goes flat out. Like, flat out as well. But no one ain't questioning his chin. For me, Dillian's chin is an issue. The man had no gas left, he was completely finished, and still, he knocked you smooth out. What happens this time if Povetkin's more fresh? Because I think Povetkin came into that fight expecting nothing. Which can work favourably, as we saw, but still, this time, he's at a proper camp. The first time, he didn't have a camp, I don't believe. It was like 4 weeks, and he looked soft, and this time, I believe he's going to be properly prepared. Now, it can go the other way. Povetkin can be... He's got the pressure of it. Listen, none of his countrymen were really backing Povetkin the first time. This time, he's got all of his countrymen behind him. There's expectation, so it can go the other way against him. But these are... It's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. You never know, do you? Oh, well, he had no pressure. It helped him. Oh, well, now he's got everyone watching. It just depends. And to be fair to Povetkin, we've never seen him choke before. He's been in there with AJ. He didn't choke. He came and gave a good innings, but he came up against a better man. And even against AJ decided to be quite cautious against Povetkin. And caught him in the end. Dillian Whyte doesn't have the size of AJ. And I'm just not sure what happens this time. And some people have I think Tyan Booth said that Dillian Whyte's chin didn't take the Povetkin shot. What happens now when he's has Dillian Whyte's chin recovered? I'm not even sure chins can recover. Look at Chuck Liddell, the Iceman from UFC. He ended up fighting Tito Ortiz a few years ago again for the third time, and he took a jab and just fell apart. Now, obviously, Dillian has not got that kind of chin that's completely bust out, but every time you take one of them factory reset shots, yeah, when you get put back to factory settings, it ain't helping no one, is it? I don't care, even if you've had 6 months off. I'm not sure. I think it only gets worse, if the truth be known. Once you've broken the seal, it just gets weaker and weaker. So it may even take less now. Well, in my opinion, it probably will take less for Dillian to go out again the same way. So, if I was to bet, I think Dillian's going to be real conservative this time. And that's probably the best way of doing things. Let's see how it goes for the first few rounds and then build off that. Going in there, gunslinging, like Fury did against Wilder. And yeah, Fury he wasn't completely gunslinging, but again, Fury has the benefit of the height. When you're 6'9", things are a lot easier. You see, having them few inches of height, it makes all the difference. I think Dillian and Povetkin are more or less the same size, so Dillian ain't gonna have that authority or the height the timing and the height he ain't gonna have that split second that height gives you. You're going to be much more on a level playing field. And that's arguably, often when you see taller fighters, they see shots coming. I bet you any money, if Fury had been in there, he'd have seen that shot from Povetkin coming. But when you're on that flat line, next thing you know, you've just been chinned. So, we're going to find out. Anyway, it's an intriguing one. But for sure, my money would be behind Dillian. But it's not confident money. It's like 60-40 money. But for sure, I can imagine, I think on Sunday morning or whenever it is, I'll wake up or I'll watch it and it will have gone that Dillian's just played it safe. Now, if Dillian goes in there and he really does just go in there trying to light him up, fair play to him. Hats off to him. He really is a warrior. But I'm not sure he's that reckless. I'm not sure he's as reckless as he's talking here. What did he say? He said some real greasy, when I touch him, this time his whole body is going to vibrate. Well, I'd love to see that. But I'm not confident we're going to get that one. If he does, I'll take my hat off to him. Win, lose or draw. If he comes up there and really just looks for vengeance, fair play to him. But I wouldn't bank on it.